we ain't getting monetized. It's me coming out of my house after a 2-week-long gaming sesh playing Tarkov. POV, you're a VTuber with big tits and your simps are coming. Me when I find the jams. Oh, the same song that I've been autistically listening to 69 times in a row. Let's play that again! Oh, hello there. Nice of you to drop by. My name's Inky, and it's nice of you to join us. Now, here at the Makari Mansion, we have a tendency of watching the most brain-rotted, degenerate kind of stuff imaginable. So I thought, what a nice day it would be to prove our big-brainedness by watching something that's not only pandering to our gaming necessities, but also something to prove just how big our brains can be. Now, I know you guys probably all know what Left 4 Dead is, but do you think you could survive in the Left 4 Dead world, maybe? Well, today we answer that question because we're going to be watching... Do you think you would survive in the Left 4 Dead universe? Oh, this is actually so cozy looking. Holy shit. I could just stretch out here and go to... All right, let's do this.
Everyone has it in their heads that surviving a zombie apocalypse would be a cinch.
Now, a normal zombie apocalypse? Yes. Now, I know just a little bit about the Left 4 Dead universe, but I know for a fact that the Left 4 Dead zombie universe is a very different kind of zombie apocalypse, and I'm pretty sure he's going to cover why.
Zombie apocalypse.
Well, not everyone. Some people have come to terms with the fact that they would probably become a zombie within the first day or two of the onset of the zombie apocalypse. Yeah. Others would say that they're too out of shape to keep running, and
28 months
others would probably
later.
have a complete change of personality.
Not your like Walking
when
Dead
anarchy
bullshit.
Takes over. But for those that don't fall in those groups, they tend to think they could survive due to the amount of zombie shoot-'em-ups they've played, zombie films they've seen hundreds of times, and even books they've read like the Zombie Survival Guide.
Man, I played enough zombie shooter games. I'd survive easily.
Scholars in the world. If you're watching a show like The Walking Dead or one of Romero's movies, the world is ravaged by slow-moving, dim-witted, corroding, alive-again dead boys and girls. It's probably the most popular and well-known form of zombie motif. But if you think you can take the same skill sets and survival,
but then you gotta kind of think about that there are more than just like the slow
animated corpses into a universe.
Like, I suppose realistically, the Romero zombies are the most believable because that's most likely how they'd go. But if you believe in the fantasy of how like an outbreak would mutate things rather than just degrade, it would be sort of like Resident Evil or 28 Months Later. Like, the different kinds of zombies are so scary to think about. Some of them become more easy. But let's face it, if we ended up in Shaun of the Dead, I don't think anyone's worrying. In fact, if you die in Shaun of the Dead, you're an idiot. But like the cliche zombie, you know, the slow moving kind of thing, ain't much to worry about. But more believable because that's what you'd expect a body to do when it's dead. But if you got the zombies like 28 Months Later, where it's more of a mutation, then yeah, you're kind of screwed.
That literally just makes a host go absolutely nuts with primal rage.
Oh
and infectious
god,
mutations.
28 Days Later,
well,
such a good movie.
You've definitely got another thing coming. Today we aren't asking a question. Today
I have to ask a question before I let this go any further. How many of us are still Pavlonianly trained to expect a horde of zombies every time we hear a car alarm in real life now? I honestly cannot hear a car alarm in my real life time without instantly getting the, oh god, like the horde sound or the imminent feeling like something bad's about to happen. This game conditioned me to an unbelievable level. Hi, Wishy.
we are telling you why you wouldn't survive a Left 4 Dead zombie apocalypse.
POV, you're a VTuber with big tits and your simps are coming.
So if you haven't already watched my videos explaining what exactly is the infection in Left 4 Dead or any of the explanations on the special infected in my profile series, make sure to check them out at the end of this video as I go into way more detail than
Does somebody want to contact Pyrocynical for me, or should I? Yeah, I think Pyrocynical needs to see this video.
Then I will hear about the green flu infected in Left 4 Dead. Before we get into the harsh reality of what the green flu can turn a civilization into,
I think the Left 4 Dead zombie virus might be one of the most deadly, or at least one of the most
rabies like feral humans. People will tend to strategize and account for the more lumbering and slow undead
Shaun of the Dead, yes!
If you have the ability to run, keep noise to a fairly low minimum,
red on you.
Easily hack or
I think the Left 4 Dead zombie virus might be one of the
bodies,
most
have a
vicious.
well-fortified or high-grounded safe space with plenty of supplies, you may
It would
find
probably be on the
yourself
same
living
line
through
as
the
like
initial
28 months
outbreak,
later,
which
right?
It still never
Like
makes
the
sense
rage
to me
virus.
on how these slow-moving dead boys
You missed
can
zombie games?
overtake an
Hey,
entire
Wishy, how about we play some Dark Tide? I know it's not technically a zombie game, but it's basically the better version of Left 4 Dead 3.
civilization where huge military might exist. You're telling me a horde of hundreds of zombies literally can overtake a military outpost that has
That's what I
tanks,
thought!
choppers, soldiers?
Like, this is what I'm saying. In a Ramiro zombie apocalypse, how do you die? These things move slow as molasses, have the intelligence of a brick. If you saw, dude, you know in like Shaun of the Dead at the end where the glasses idiot gets torn apart by the zombies? The only way you die in a Ramiro-themed zombie apocalypse is when the plot demands it. Yeah, exactly.
Armed personnel with automatic weaponry? Fat chance! But let's just humor that asinine fact for a moment and push through into a universe that all this became possible. The biggest issue with surviving literal dead coming back to life.
Hey, guys. POV the morning after we've just had a one-night stand. Oh, you thought we were only going once? That's cute. Prepare to be dehydrated, motherfucker.
To life that can only die by removing the head or destroying the brain is the fight against time and resources. Finding a place where the dead cannot reach you would be fairly trying to task on its own, but considering zombies do not need food, water, or even a functioning body, the only thing that can wipe out the general populace of corpses is for the natural state of decay.
Oh, God!
No pun intended.
Land of the Dead
to settle
zombies were
in and
creepy as
cause
hell.
each and every zombie to fall victim to the 5 stages of decomposition. As detailed by film theory right here, the zombies of The Walking Dead could very well shamble around till they literally rot to death in the span of about 3.5 years. Unless you create or become a part of a post-apocalyptic society that gets its shit straight, you will most likely either
this
die
is
of
like the
starvation,
difference between
thirst, getting overwhelmed by a horde
universes,
searching
right?
for food or other
Different
survivors,
universes handle
or
the whole
being killed by another
thing
survivor.
about
If you're in a
decay and everything
scenario
very
like The
differently.
Walking Dead where anyone becomes a zombie upon death if their brain is not destroyed, then you must also make sure any people with a life-threatening disease or
God, I
ailment
really
are
want to play
properly
that
medicated,
The
and if
Walking
not,
Dead
quarantined to
Telltale
prevent an internal
set of games
zombie
again at some
outbreak from
point.
starting. All this needing to be accounted for as you wait for the zombies to become piles of biomass.
Okay, am I the only one who gets really annoyed in like The Walking Dead or any of these like zombie movies or zombie like shows where literally the only reason why people end up dying is because some dipshit fuck nugget decides to do the most idiotic thing imaginable? Like, I understand that the story has to happen, but it's like it's like in fucking what was it called? The Land of the Dead movie where you got that old lady trying to get out to save her dog. Oh, that was not Dead Estate. Was it Dead Estate? No. Oh, the one where you're a photographer. You got that stupid old lady. Dead Rising. Yeah. Literally the only time shit goes wrong is when people do the complete most batshit, unrealistic things anyone would ever do. Like, I get that people would lose their goddamn minds, but half the time people die in these things. It's the most unrealistic thing imaginable. The power of movies, I guess. And then you sit there not being like, oh no, they're dying. Like, oh my God, could somebody please kill this bitch quicker?
Weapons are also a big factor in staying alive, as guns and melee weapons will be necessary to your survival. Depending on where you live can be a huge factor into the availability on said weapons, and well, most people will say, America, guns everywhere. But guns won't be readily available as they are in games like Left 4 Dead, Call of Duty, and other genres.
He is, of course, referring to unless you're living in Texas. Meanwhile, in England, while I got my butter knife, I suppose.
You aren't going to find a live AK-47 just lying in the streets of New Orleans so frequently, considering it's a more Soviet-used weapon in Russia, but that's if the zombies were to decay like any other regular old corpse. There are some genres that bring the dead back to life, but allow them the ability to run,
God,
use basic tools, and think more
first
critically.
Resident Evil
Not all
movie was
zombies are
actually
slow,
so good.
unaware, and dim-witted.
Like,
Those
so
found in the
hammy, but it was so
2004
good.
remake of the Dawn of the Dead or Zombieland
Yeah, Dawn of the Dead,
tons
dude!
more frightening and harder to
Love
shake
that.
and hold off.
I would be, okay, name me in the comments below, favorite zombie movie or zombie series. The Dawn of the Dead movie might be my favorite as just an all-around zombie movie. But then you've got things like, Zombieland. Dude, Zombieland. Goddamn Zombieland 1 and 2 are timeless. I want my Twinkie!
Looking for good survival tips against these ghouls?
High School of the
Zombieland has
Dead,
more than a few
based.
good tips
Fucking
and tricks.
based.
This
You
is
get
where a dramatic
zombies
shift
and
into
anime
your
titty.
survivability comes into play. Sure, it's
I'm sorry, a little bit of an ADHD side note. Yeah, okay. So no matter what choice you make, you're wrong. Because the High School of the Dead would be the best zombie movie to be part of. For this sole purpose. Dude, what are these zombies even doing? They just stood there. Oh wait, you're a woman! You're a woman! I've got a plan! The only logical plan in this moment! Comment the sign! Fucking anime, dude. Ooh. So when are we getting some VTubers to recreate this? Yo, 07s for the best zombie action scene ever. I'm so glad they filtered that because I did not want to get demonetized. Yeah! Slow-mo friggin' Matrix titties! Oh, we ain't getting monetized. Oh my sweet baby mother of Jesus. So yeah, that's why High School of the Dead is the best zombie universe. Zombies are fucking stupid and you got big anime titties. Anyway,
It's easy to think you could stay alive when zombies are coming at you at a
yes,
sluggish
and
pace.
let's
But once you see
not
them
forget,
moving at full
he still
sprint,
managed to miss
well,
them.
that's when you may change your frame of mind. Unless you've been working on your cardio, these free runners will most likely catch up to you, considering they don't take fatigue into account either due to the fact that they are so rabid that they
Yeah,
have
I think
only
that's like
one thing
really
on
the
their
biggest
mind:
definition.
violence.
If you're in a
Or the
zombie
part of
world
their brain
where
that
the
responds
zombies
to
can
pain and
run,
fatigue has
you
just
fucked.
completely shut down.
If you're in a
Being
zombie
chased
world where they
relentlessly
decay,
doesn't change your
you should be
mind
fine.
on your chances of survival. Maybe the fact that they do not start to rot at all and even begin to rationally
Me when I find the jams. Oh, the same song that I've been autistically listening to 69 times in a row. Let's play that again!
think of ways to use their dead status to their advantage, like in the Romero universe, where crossing natural barriers like rivers, where they don't retain the knowledge of swimming, but just walking along the sea floor, since they aren't really using their lungs anymore. Using tools to break through defenses like
using
the
your
zombie
lungs.
that used a power tool to
Couldn't be
penetrate
me.
a glass door, or oddly enough,
I ain't
a
sucked that
walker
many
in The
dicks in my
Walking
life to
Dead
need to
that
breathe.
used a brick to break the glass. Even though walkers aren't shown to use tools like this any other time in the
I
series, great consistency.
suppose that's
to
the
Walking
other
Dead
metric,
writing
right?
staff, and
The
even
zombies that you
weapons
gotta be
to gun
afraid
your
of are
ass
the ones who
down.
still
These
maintain
elements are
intelligence.
shown
Because
as
in
Romero's
every zombie universe, the
scratched
zombies
on, but
end up
some
becoming
zombies would show
stupider.
care, compassion, and communication for certain living people, though.
Oh, this guy though. Day of the Dead, the original, the 1985 one. Getting a zombie that was like halfway between being a zombie and still having some semblance of their humanity was like such an uncanny valley effect that it's like, oh, that's tragic. It's almost like that one guy from Halo. If you ever read the story, there's like a story within the Halo universe of a guy who gets infected by the flood, and it was like such an old strain of the flood that it couldn't quite take root in his body hard enough. So occasionally the original mind of the human would come through, and you'd see this like clash of the flood infection battling with the human psyche. And it's kind of funny to see, or like really jarring to see zombies that have certain elements of their humanity still. Like technically the zombies in 28 Days Later universe, those aren't necessarily zombies. It's more of a rage virus. They're not mutating. They're not necessarily decaying. They still require to eat things to survive, but they've just become rabid.
If the idea of zombies with
Oh
critical
god, don't even
thinking
get me
does
started
not
on
scare you,
Half-Life
well,
crab,
I don't know
head
what
crabs.
will,
Ugh.
actually.
Those things are horrifying.
I do. Zombies
Honestly,
in a zombie apocalypse
Headcrab
are
zombies
a
might be
scary
the
enough
worst
endeavor to
zombies in terms of how
strategize
scary
in.
they
The
are.
primary concern of getting bitten against hordes of undead at any given time, trusting others after martial law sets in, and retaining food and resources could mean the end of you and those
Warm bodies.
around you. But what if
Train
the
to
zombies
Busan.
scattered across the apocalyptic
Yeah,
wasteland
Train to
weren't
Busan was
actually
really
decaying
good.
walking
If you've never
corpses,
seen it,
but
watch
actually
it.
still living, mostly breathing humans who succumb to an almost rabies-like virus?
Oh
The
god.
Left 4 Dead universe
You want to see what I mean? The entire plot of 28 weeks later was entirely progenerated off someone doing the most dipshitted thing imaginable. Oh, we've been through an entire thing of quarantine and all of the UK has been completely destroyed. Oh, wow. You know what would be a great idea? Yeah, let's break quarantine. Like, literally, the entirety of 28 weeks later would have never happened in a real world.
Humans who succumb to an almost rabies-like virus. The Left 4 Dead universe is a drastic difference in anything you expect from a zombie outbreak.
If I want to watch someone do something fucking stupid, I'd watch my own streams.
You will not survive. It's the fact that the green flu is airborne at the beginning. A large number of people fell victim to the virus when it was airborne, basically meaning unless you were in an airtight facility with numerous biocontainment protocols,
this is what makes this world so hard.
Fell to the virus without a scratch
like the virus isn't something that you just get bitten by, it's something that you just get.
Tainted meat, like a mutated strain of mad cow disease.
So as far as I remember, the way the virus works in this world, in the Left 4 Dead universe, it's not transferred by getting bit, it's not transferred by getting scratched. If you just exist and you inhale the airborne contaminant, you just turn into a zombie. And the crazy thing is that the people who are immune, the people you play as, they actually they are a source of that virus. Like, if I'm not mistaken, because there was a comic, I think, that talked about it. The survivors you play as, the people who are immune, they actually sort of emanate the virus, I think.
Fools, I shall destroy you all. Starting with the lactose intolerant.
So that's assuming you didn't partake of the forbidden meat unknowingly. A virus this contagious in nature could also run its course by invading local water supplies. So in the initial outbreak of the virus, you would somehow need to avoid breathing the wrong air, eating the wrong meat. Vegans, you're in the clear on this one. And drinking the wrong
only time
water,
in life where being a vegan actually helps
blood,
you.
Spit, mucus, sexual discharge, and other viscous fluids from other individuals. If you somehow didn't get infected through the insane infection rate at the beginning, then you would also need to avoid all contact with the infected individuals.
That scene actually upset me so much.
A lot of people say if they saw a loved one get bitten or become an infected, they wouldn't hesitate to off them. But none of us can really say what would happen in a situation like that. Panic situations are a tried and true indicator of how a person truly reacts. In the first 2 weeks of the green flu, CETA and military forces
we all know that 90% of people would not suddenly pull out their gun and pull a Left 4 Dead on things.
Play depending on how well
Wait, Left 4 Dead the movie?
Stay bunkered up.
Wait, this was a thing? What? Why is this the first I'm hearing of this?
Will eventually need to venture out for more supplies. If you don't have the aforementioned weaponry at your disposal, as well as ammunition, then you don't feel safe carrying firearms, you may find yourself finding refuge with armed government personnel. But exposing yourself to public safe havens puts you in danger in many different reasons. While you are protected by either security forces or armed personnel, each individual guard could make a quick decision to put you down if they see you as a security risk or health hazard for just simply coughing. You could be placed in a quarantined area with survivors that are actually infected and
that's why I found Dawn of the Dead remake to be so good, because it had elements of all of this.
The compound overrun with outside infected and being trapped like a caged rat. So basically, you need to either be immune, a carrier, or just extremely lucky with where you find yourself and who you are with if you want to stand any chance of making it through this far. But I digress. Besides every other factor that can kill you,
hey, if for no other reason, if we take away how scary the Left 4 Dead zombie virus is, if nothing else, Left 4 Dead has given us some very, very juicy memes.
The most lethal factor about the green flu pandemic: the infected themselves. The infected of Left 4 Dead, like I've said many times before, mimic traits equivalent
this
to
is
those
what happens when you don't socially distance.
days/weeks later franchise. Relentless and quick to converge on any loud noises or smelling hints of green vomit, these infected, not zombies, infected, will climb any surface at will, jump semi-great heights, break down walls and doors, full sprint to any desired target, and barely
not using the Desert Eagle as your sidearm in Left 4 Dead. Cringe.
The infected will find a way to reach them unless they are across a body of water, behind a
I should get a bunch of like VTubers to play some Left 4 Dead
behind
sometime.
a wall of fire, or a high enough surface where climbing or jumping would be impossible. The common infected may be prone to bite you, but they will also literally
either that or
beat
just
you
go
to
out and play
death
Dark
if
Tide
given
and
the
be done with
chance
it.
and opportunity. Considering they usually are found in large numbers, the threat of them is worse when encountered as a horde, as they will deplete your ammunition and stamina. But the common infected, even with how hellacious they can be, are not the worst threat the Left 4 Dead universe has to offer. suffer, which any fan would just say, well, duh. If you somehow make it through the
mods?
first
I mean,
2
is
weeks
there
of the
any
green
other
flu,
way to
you
play
will then
Left
be
4 Dead these
facing the
days?
rapid
I don't think
mutation
so.
rates of the disease, creating infected that can leap almost 3 stories high, some that can cut you to ribbons by baiting you with crying, infected that can
Now, guys, we all know he's talking about the witch here. I don't want to fix her. I want to make her worse. I feel like the witch was like a lot of our like first exposure to like the monster fucker itis. Yeah, she's a little bit crazy. Yeah, she's a little bit crusty. But she a freak just like me.
infected that can lasso you from a long distance and strangle you or break all of your bones.
I mean, any bitch that can take a shotgun blast to the face, you know is going to be durable.
That have enough sheer force behind their punch that they can launch vehicles and break through hard walls. The whole basis that the infection that creates the zombie-like populace mutates over time and creates more lethal and powerful infected types worsens any person's chance of surviving. No matter what kind of high ground you have now, the hunters can leap to where you are and smokers can pull you down from where you stand. No matter how well hidden you are, a sneaky boomer can vomit on you and trigger dozens of nearby infected
yucky.
to detect where you are by smell. And no matter how
Get your
well
nasty
fortified
ass
your defenses
vomit
are,
away
the
from
tank
me.
can most likely bust right through the foundations, considering he was able to destroy a brick wall with ease and launch a few ton car through the air like it was a damn toy. Developing mutations can also create the jockey, charger, and spitter, but the spitter would be the primary state of concern, as being hit by stomach acid from a distance would realistically mean death or permanent joint or muscle damage, as stomach acid covering your body would corrode a large portion of your flesh. As I discussed in what would happen to the survivors after Left 4 Dead, the infected would not have a high lifespan though, as they are still technically living individuals that require full body function to survive, meaning they need to eat and sleep and use their hearts and brains to survive. Considering they do not eat or drink and rarely sleep, the common infected would probably start to
Really, the entirety of Left 4 Dead is just natural selection. You were one of the select few to become a survivor. Well, I guess you're starting the new world. And I suppose that's really it. It's like a hard reset on society, right? Because there's going to be more survivors than just these guys. So if you weren't lucky enough to be daddy's special little immune person, well, I guess you weren't selected to be part of New Society. New Society be founded of people who were immune to start things from scratch.
Die out within the first month. The special infected would die out even sooner, considering the extreme strain their mutations put on their bodies. Corroding zombies having a lifespan of up to 3.5 years, the Left 4 Dead infected would at most need a month or 2 before the populace dies out if they cannot keep making more infected numbers.
So that's probably why we didn't get Left 4 Dead 3.
Pandemic, you will need to find in or be in a safe enough compound that a horde or tank cannot break down the walls, round-the-clock security to make sure said infected cannot scale the walls, a steady supply of food, water, and weapons,
what a good movie.
medicine,
Shame we
and
never
a
got the
group that
sequel.
won't kill you while you sleep, as well as a clean facility that keeps up safety protocols. If you're immune, you won't have to worry, but you will have to worry about others that will probably either try to kill you or cast you out if you're actually a carrier.
Oh, God, I don't want to be reminded about
interacting with anybody that's infected in general. But the chances of all these convenient pieces falling into place are extremely unlikely for you. The fact that the survivors in Left 4 Dead series make it through all this is just a miracle, and it's honestly there just to push the gameplay narrative. If you would like to see me do a video on how and why the survivors in both games were able to survive as long as they did, let me know in the comments. But yeah, the amount of time you'll need to stay alive and uninfected in Left 4 Dead is much shorter than a generic zombie apocalypse, but that shorter amount of time is much more difficult and deadly. There's no telling where you might be when it starts, and that will be the primary factor into what you will do once the spread of the outbreak begins. Whether you're at work, home, school, or out to eat at IHOP, even if you have a strategy in mind, do you have the mental power to make decisions to actually take down a zombie or infected that you may know?
Wow. Look, guys. It's me coming out of my house after a 2-week-long gaming sesh playing Tarkov. to then realize I'm not touching Tarkov until the end of the wipe again.
to make decisions to actually take down a zombie
son,
or infected
what is that?
you may know? Are you physically fit enough to swing a fire axe around and have enough power to cut infected repeatedly over and over again? And keep in mind, melee weapons will break eventually. If you're damaged, do you really think
Oh
downing
my
a whole
God, these
bottle
old
of prescription
animations,
drugs will get you up
Jesus.
and going after having your chest ripped open? Newsflash, taking pain medications like ibuprofen in excess will have more bad effects than good, especially if it's powerful stuff like Norco, in which case you'll die on the spot. And putting duct tape around your body will not make you feel 80% better, despite what the medkits may make
What do you
think
mean
and
I
what
can't
you did.
take the
There won't
entire
be safer
mentality of
indoors
being
that
in a
are
video game and
impervious
apply it to
cold
real life
damage in the real
scenarios.
world, and I highly doubt you'll
Crazy.
find an M16 or SCAR lying around on the streets as you first venture out into the apocalyptic world that is your neighborhood. Besides, to just aim well with the gun and
You know,
shoot
I actually
accurately
uploaded a video
requires
to my TikTok last night that actually kind of paramounts the entire the entire issue that I would have with this universe, right? So all of these zombies are pretty goddamn scary, but let's not beat around the bush. Truly, the scariest zombies would be the headcrabs. The headcrab zombies. Let me show you exactly what I mean. Yeah, okay, this right here. This is why these this is why the headcrab zombies from Half-Life would be more terrifying. I want to be one of those React Andes that adds something to what I do. Oh, that noise. Oh, that noise is giving me fucking PTSD. Oh, I hate that noise. Oh, no.
The fast ones?
That noise. Oh. Just the diverse range of headcrab zombies, not to mention the absolute body horror. Like, at least if you're turning into a zombie, you know, more often than not, you're kind of dead. These things, you're not even in control of your own body. You're just along for the goddamn ride and feeling everything whilst you do it. This is a 50... Oh, God.
Training and composure. Just the sheer kickback from a shotgun would probably break the wrist of half the people watching this video.
Ah, yes. People who have no idea how to shoot guns,
told you to
shooting
lean
guns is
forward,
my
bro.
favorite flavor
And
of
how many of
content.
you have enough food at your place to last more than a week realistically? And how many weaves and
B
fuckboys
screamed
out there would jump at the chance of helping out a crying woman declaring, "I'm here to save you, my lady," only to get jebaited and killed by the witch?
Oh no,
Quite a
it's like
few,
being an
I would
amaranth
say.
simp.
Anyways, I'm starting to ramble. If you think you could survive the Left 4 Dead version of the zombie
it's over.
apocalypse, let me know in the comments. And if you think I didn't cover enough, you can do that too. The green flu, however, is probably the worst case scenario for an apocalyptic setting, probably on the same level
yeah.
as Resident Evil. You guys are not going to survive. So if you like this video,
Yep,
like,
no, I absolutely agree. There is definitely a severity there. Left 4 Dead is still like one of my favorite universes for like the zombie-themed environment. Not very believable, but still very kind of cool to kind of mind palace the whole thing. Well, thank you very much for watching, guys. If you think this is, if you'd survive in this world, let me know in the comments. Or if you want to just let me know what your favorite zombie-themed thing is, then by all means do that too. And I guess I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye now.